Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Thanks for joining us. I noticed a few people were in early, so I love keeners coming in early and being patient enough to wait for us to get started. Appreciate you being here today. While you are popping in, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, our land acknowledgement, and introduce the speaker today. So we do want you to participate, even though you cannot speak. You can pop down to the bottom of your screen and you will see that there is chat functionality and there's also functionality called Q&A. If you want to say hello and just introduce yourself, you're welcome to do that by popping into Q&A and saying who you are and your business name and what you do. If you have questions throughout the session, it's very interactive, so we're going to welcome your questions. What I'd like you to do is put your questions into the Q&A box, and we may be asking you a few things, and you're welcome to put your answers into Q&A or chat at that point in time. My name is Linda Griffian. I'm the Education Programs Coordinator with Business Link, and I'm hosting today's session and introducing the speaker. I would like to start with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge and respect that we are on traditional land, meeting grounds, territories, and gathering places and traveling routes of Treaty 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10, and the home to many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge the lands of those who have come before us, reside here now, and in the future. Today, we are welcoming Innovation Canada. We're welcoming Dimitri Becker, who's the Marketing and Outreach Specialist with Innovation Canada. That is your Government of Canada tax dollars at work, and specifically your tax dollars at work for lots and lots and lots of great business resources. He'll be chatting today about a variety of the resources that are available through Innovation Canada, and we will have a specific focus today on what's called the Business Benefits Finder. I think that's going to be of interest to a lot of people who are on this session today, because we do get a lot of calls about how do I find financing and funding for my business and where do I go to look for that and how do I know what I qualify for? We're really going to dive into that today with the Business Benefits Finder. So without further chat from me, I'm going to hand it over to Dimitri. Thank you for coming aboard today, Dimitri, and speaking to our clients.
Great. Thanks very much, Linda. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to start by mentioning that I'm here from Innovation Canada, and I'm here to, as Linda mentioned, provide some insight on some of the programs and resources that we have available to support small business within the Government of Canada. So to provide you with a bit of an overview of the presentation that I'd like to share with you, I'm going to start by providing a brief overview of Innovation Canada and the suite of programs that we have to support Canadian business. That's going to be followed by a demonstration of the Business Benefits Finder. And then I'd also like to do a quick little demonstration of our permits and licenses tool, which is BizPal. So as Linda mentioned, my name is Dimitri Becker. I'm a marketing and outreach strategist at Innovation Canada, which is under Innovation Science and Economic Development Canada. So in terms of objectives, just a few things that I hope we achieve here today. So first is a better understanding of the programs and services that are available to support Canadian small business and where you can find them, and also some handy tips on how to navigate those supports for small business. So I'd like to start by providing an overview of Innovation Canada and the suite of programs and services that we have available to support business. So we're proud to offer a suite of different programs and services to support businesses as they grow and scale throughout their journey. So as you can see on the slide, our programs tend to fall into one of two categories. We have services and we have funding. So to start with the services side of things, we have the Business Benefits Finder. And so this is the resource that I really wanted to take some time to delve into with all of you today. And I like to think of this as our one-stop shop. And so essentially what it is it's an online tool that provides everything that government can do for your business all in under 2 minutes. So, everything from federal, provincial, territorial, and also some nonprofits as well. We collect all of those programs and we have them in one online resource. The next program that I wanted to share with you is the Accelerated Growth Service. And so this is a continuum of services that exist to support businesses as they grow and scale. So there are several different tiers to the Accelerated Growth Service. The first is the advisory service. And so this is a quick touch base with one of our innovation advisors, which are business advisors that are situated across the country that are there to support business owners to pathfind the Government of Canada landscape. And so with the advisory service, business owners have the opportunity to connect with one of our innovation advisors just to better understand what resources might be available to them, and also to just kind of understand where they might be able to turn to. If businesses have more dedicated or specific needs, they may be eligible for the growth service. And so this is a more dedicated commitment where an innovation advisor is paired with a business owner or entrepreneur to really address the specific needs that they have for their business. And so this is a journey that spans between 12 to 18 months, where the innovation advisor and the business owner will better understand the unique needs of the business and seek out appropriate resources and potentially also make connections to be able to realize those goals. We also have the Global Hypergrowth Project, which is for large-scale companies, but that's outside of the purview of our conversation today. So I won't go in depth on it. Next, we have BizPal, and so this is another online resource that we have available at Innovation Canada. And so, similar to the Business Benefits Finder, it's a place where you can find all of the permits and licenses that you may need to operate your business, no matter where you're located across the country. Next, under the intellectual property umbrella, we have two supports. So the first is Explore IP, and so this is our intellectual property marketplace. And so again, similar to Business Benefits Finder and BizPal, this is a resource that exists for business owners, entrepreneurs, and inventors to be able to take a look at the publicly available Crown-held IP that they have available to them. Next, we have Elevate IP, and Elevate IP is a program that exists to help business owners, entrepreneurs, inventors to better understand intellectual property, but also how to develop it and how to protect it. Moving over to the funding side of things, we have Innovative Solutions Canada. And so this is a program that supports Canadian innovators by funding research and developing and testing their prototypes in real-life settings. So ISC, it encourages innovators to tackle specific innovation issues, and companies who are successful in the challenge phases may have additional opportunities to work with ISC. Next, we have the Canada Digital Adoption Program. And so this program serves to support Canadian businesses to boost and enhance their e-commerce presence. So we have two streams of the program. So the Boost Your Business Technology Grant has stopped accepting applications, but you can still apply to the Grow Your Business Online Micro Grant for a value of up to $2,400. And this is designed. Sorry.
And I just want to sort of interject here. Sorry, I know you're on a I know you're on a path. Just letting our attendees know that BusinessLink is actually the service provider in Alberta who does the second stream of that particular program. And I think that one's closing soon as well. I think closing is going to happen on that one soon. So if you have questions about the CDAP program that are directly related here in Alberta, you can pop to the BusinessLink website and find out the information and how to apply to that program directly from our site as well.
Yes, so that's a great point to bring forward, Linda. And yes, absolutely valid to bring forward. So next we have the Strategic Innovation Fund, or SIF, which provides larger scale funding, typically $10 million or more, to help cutting edge innovators scale and develop and commercialize their innovations. And finally, we have the Global Innovation Clusters. And so this brings together businesses, academic institutions, and non-for-profit organizations to help foster innovation ecosystems with a competitive edge. So I'm going to just move forward. So as I mentioned, the main tool that I wanted to spend some time discussing with you and also showing you today is the Business Benefits Finder. And so this can be found at innovation.canada.ca. And what it is, like I mentioned, it's an online resource that brings together everything that the federal, provincial, and territorial governments have to offer, as well as some nonprofits too. And so once you go to the Business Benefits Finder, you answer a series of quick questions, and that provides you with a tailored list of supports that can help your business grow, all in under 2 minutes. And so we have a number of different categories of support that you can find on the Business Benefits Finder, and that ranges from funding, tax credits, wage subsidies, expert advice, research facilities, and much, much more. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to show you the Business Benefits Finder in action, because it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to see it in action. So just bear with me a second while I pull it up. Go. All right, so hopefully everyone can see the Business Benefits Finder up on the screen. Perhaps if I could just get maybe a confirmation or a thumbs up, that would be great.
I can see it, so I have a feeling everyone else can see it. And I'm just going to pop the link to this into chat for everyone as well, so that you know where to go find it afterwards.
Great. Thanks, Linda. So this is the Business Benefits Finder, and it can be accessed at innovation.canada.ca. And so once you access innovation.canada.ca, you are brought to what we call the story. And so the reason why we call it the story is because this is a series of prompts that the user answers to give a better understanding of the unique needs of the business to be able to provide a list of tailored supports. And so in order to do this demo, what I'd like to get some input from the crowd just to see, what types of supports you may be looking for, just so that we can have a bit more of a, personal demonstration. So we'll walk through it together, and I'll point out a couple of things that I'd like you to keep in mind as we go through. So the first prompt on the Business Benefits Finder is going to ask you what types of support you're looking for your business. And so here we see when we click on the little arrow, we see that we have a number of different categories here. And so looking at them, we can select one, we can select several, we can select other if we find that the type of support that we're looking for doesn't necessarily apply to the categories that are listed. Or if we want to cast the net wide, we can click on all support. So I'd like to get a sense for, what kinds of supports you might be looking for. So, if you're able to provide some input, then I can populate that here.
One of the big ones for folks here, of course, will be grants. I know a lot of people are always looking for grants and funding. We have subsidies, apprenticeship for trades, so wage subsidies and interns. I have someone here who says, I'm looking for anything and everything.
Okay.
Tax credits we're looking for. Okay. And I don't know where to start. Okay, then you have to pop over to Business Link and take some of our webinars, this one included. But I strongly suggest you to start with our Bring Your Business Idea to Life and sign up for a newsletter. That's going to help you organize and get started. So we'll let you go to that one next. Tax credits, the wage subsidies. We have wage subsidies already there. I don't know what their all is. That's why you hit the all support button. I don't know what there is. We want it all, but quite typically we see a lot of people interested in grants and funding. But I'm open to all support if you want to do that.
So one caveat that I want to put forward is that, again, you can choose how narrow or how broad you want to cast the net. But the more specific you are in terms of the supports that you're looking for, the more accurate your results are going to be to your situation. So again, just kind of depends on, kind of the strategy that you want to go in with. But we can go with all support and we can see where it takes us. So we'll click on OK. So because grants and funding is part of the support that we're looking for, we're going to be asked for a dollar value. So more specifically, how much money are we looking for? So we have a number of different thresholds here. So we can select one of these, or if, again, we just want to cast the net wide, we can select all amounts. So what are we thinking here?
Well, let's take a poll of the crowd. Who here is in startup specifically? If you're in startup specifically, just type that into chat. Who is in over a year old? Say you're in 12 months to 3 years old. We're going to call that growth. And let's see where we're at, because that's going to tell us. Okay, we've got some startup, we've got some growth, startup. So we've got a bit of a blend between startup and growth. Sometimes that helps us define what we can get. Someone here says, I'd like to see up to $50,000. So we have a mix, Dimitri, of startup and
Okay.
growth, and we have some folks here someone who's mentioned up to 50,000.
Okay.
Uh,
So
just
why don't we,
from what I know in terms of startup and some of the programming out there, just as a person who's been around the ecosystem a long time, I think if I was in startup, I'd be looking for up to 250
up
myself
to 250? Okay.
because
So
I
we'll,
think that casts it just wide enough in startup to capture a few extra programs.
yes, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we'll do that up to 2,000 or 250,000. And so our third prompt is going to ask us to specify our main goal. So again, similar to the first prompt, we have a series of different options here. So as we look through them, we can select one, we can select several, or if we want to cast the net wide, we can select all goals. So it just kind of depends on what the goal of our business is.
Well, I don't think we have anyone here selling, closing, or transferring a business.
Okay.
Do we have anyone in the crowd developing the local economy and infrastructure? Oh, we have start or buy a business. That's popular.
Okay.
If you're in growth, you probably want to grow and expand your business.
Mm-hmm.
If you're growing, you may or may not want to buy or lease equipment or property.
Yeah.
We had some people who were interested in hiring and training interns and apprentices and employees. Maybe that would be a good one to click. Does everyone know what working capital is? When we talk about we have someone wanting to sell internationally.
Okay. So internationally. Okay.
And working capital can be tricky. So that's the money that you have in the bank to keep your doors open and your operations happening. It is not the money you're spending on equipment. It's not the money you're spending on real estate. It's not the money you're spending on anything other than having cash flow in your business to keep the doors open. It's not research and development money, or it's not even product development necessarily. So that might be one that people just aren't clear on. We have conduct research and development. Uh, Anyone interested in increasing their working capital? Only because I know BDC has a few things there. Having once been an advisor with BDC, that's not hard money to get. So let's pop that in there so everyone knows working capital. Oh, reduce pollution.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Looks like we're
We
good to
got
go.
quite a few options here. Okay, we have another prompt that popped up here. So for selling internationally, because that's one of the goals we specified,
Okay.
um, we have a couple of options here. So already selling, actively planning, thinking about it, or not sure.
So whoever's selling internationally, are you not, which of those options apply to you? Are you thinking about it? Not sure. Oh, thinking about it. Just getting
Okay.
it started.
Okay. Great. Okay, so we'll include that option. So next, we're gonna specify a little bit about the project. So here we're going to specify what space we're in. So we have a number of different options, and so the caveat with this one, as opposed to the other prompts that we had, is that we can only pick one, but we can run multiple versions of the story to be able to hit different categories. So I'll just scroll down the list, and I know that acknowledging that everyone might be in a bit of a different space, but just if there's anything that looks enticing, we can use that as an example, or we could choose any if we just want to keep it broad.
Hmm, maybe let's keep it broad if we have a few people who are thinking about it. Sure.
Okay. All right. So we're going to specify the stage that we're at. So research, development, demonstration, pre-commercialization, or again, because we have different scenarios here, we could select any.
So tell me about the difference between research and pre-commercialization.
So that's a good question. So to me, that distinction would be, you've done all of your research, all of that is ready to go, and then you're just waiting to hit the market. That would be the distinction for me.
Yeah, that would kind of be my guess too, because it comes
Mhm.
after demonstration, which means it's already demonstrated that it's gone through something, it's already built, and you just now need to find a way to get it to market, as
Yes.
opposed to research where you haven't built it yet. Looks like we have research
Research.
coming
Okay.
up there.
Right. So this is actually a feature that we recently incorporated. So I was part of some user testing that we did last summer, and people often said, oh, is it really 2 minutes? Like, I know that we're going a little bit over 2 minutes to do this example, but they were like, oh, is it really that quick? But yes, what we wanted to illustrate is that, it really is only 3 steps that you're going through in order to hit the results. So we'll hit that.
And remembering we're capturing about 60 people on this, so it's taking us a bit of time.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're going to provide a little bit of information about the company or organization. So geographic location. So I think it's safe to say Alberta for our example.
Yeah.
But what we can also do, so say that you're operating in different provinces or different territories, you can select those options as well. Or if you're, coast to coast to coast, you can select all of Canada. So again, just depends on your unique situation. But we'll hit Alberta for our purposes here. The other thing that I wanted to point out now that it's showed up is we've included this bar that shows up as you start adding prompts or responding to prompts that shows you the running count of your results. So if you look at the bottom here, you'll see that we've included the number of all the programs that are available in the Business Benefits Finder. So currently we have 1,605 programs. So if you really just wanted to say, okay, I want to see everything that's available in the Business Benefits Finder, and I don't really want to go through this, filtering process right now, you have the ability to do that. But the purpose of the story is to really narrow things down and create a tailored list for you. So we see that we're going from 1,605 results down to 669 already, and we're not yet done the story. So that number is going to come down as we complete the story. So next, we're going to specify, again, what type of business this is. So we have a number of different options here, just depending on the unique situation that we're in. Or we can click not sure if we just kind of want to keep it broad. And so I'm thinking, based on how we've answered the other ones, maybe we'll do that here as well. So we're going to go to step 3 of 3. So we're going to provide the number of employees that we have. And so here you're just going to type in a number. So how big of a company are we thinking here?
Okay, anyone want to throw that out? I'm going to guess it's going to be between 1 and 5.
One. Okay, small, 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with the high end there, 5. And we'll say, okay, next, our annual revenue. So here we're going to give a band. So we have a number of different options here. Or again, if we just kind of want to keep it broad, or we want to, we don't necessarily want to specify, we can say not sure, prefer not to say. So again, just depends on the situation. What are we thinking?
Let's see what the crowd says. Okay, so are we going 0 to 99, 100 to 499? Startups are at 0. If you have not yet made a sale, you're at 0. Okay, we're at 0 to 99, 100 to 499, 0 to 99, up to 500K. Okay.
Okay. All right. Um, so we're going to select whether we're incorporated, not sure. Let's see what the
Who here
crowd
is
is saying.
incorporated? Corp, corp, corp,
Quite a few
corp. Yeah.
incorporated. Okay.
Okay.
For profit, non-for-profit, not sure.
Okay. Let's go with for profit.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. And then the second to last filter. So this is going to allow you to highlight programs that are for specific audiences. So here we see we have a number of different options. And so again, you can select one, you can select several. It just depends on what kind of programs you might be looking for. And one thing that I want to specify is that by selecting certain options, you're not excluding others, but it does mean that those programs are bumped up in your results, so you're more likely to see them.
So the
So
important, just to talk a little bit here about the importance of this sort of designation, it's important to self-identify yourself as an entrepreneur because compared to 30 or 40 years ago, for example, when I started in the 90s with my first company, there was not the myriad of programming that is out there now that is designed specifically for specific groups of entrepreneurs. We had maybe one set of programs for women, and that was it. And everything else was pretty broad. But we have now youth programs. We have programs for however you identify that you don't want to exclude from your capability of accessing those programs. What is the definition of newcomers? Oh, good question. Newcomers.
yeah, so that is a really good question. I don't know specifically what definition we use for that, and I don't want to lead you astray, so I'm not going to hazard a guess. But if it's something that you'd really like to know, I'm certainly happy to connect with our team, and I can provide that response.
My
Yeah,
guess, I don't want to hazard a guess either. So
yeah.
do not take this as anything other than Linda's crazy best guess is that you came to this country and were not born here, and that it may or may not involve a length of time.
I'd say that's safe. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so anything that looks enticing here, or again, we just kind of want to say not sure, prefer not to say. Oh, Indigenous. Okay, actually, that might be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Good one to put in there.
Indigenous. I
Okay,
would say Canadian women, newcomers.
yeah. Okay.
Uh, is anyone here 39 and under?
Black Canadians. Okay.
Black Canadian? Yes, 39 and under. Let's do the youth under 40. Are you rural? Yes, we
Rural.
have rural.
Okay.
Do we have any persons with disabilities? Uh, LGBTQ plus?
Okay. We can include that.
Okay. I don't think we have persons with a disability. Who here has English as a second language? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Persons with disabilities. Okay. So we have some interest in that.
Okay.
Okay. Great. All right. Uh, oh, okay. Because we selected Indigenous, it's going to ask us, which type we're looking for. So we can click on all of them.
First
I,
Nation.
I I would be interested to see actually. Okay, so First Nations, yeah. Do we have interest in seeing Inuit and Métis as well in the list? Métis,
Métis.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Think Inuit, maybe just based on geographic location a
I
little
think so
bit.
too. Okay, and so finally, this last filter. So this is going to allow you to see programs that are currently accepting applications, or you can see all programs that correspond to the inputs you've provided, whether or not they're currently accepting applicants. So again, just depends on whether you want to see the breadth of options that you have available to you, or you only want to see what's available to you at the specific point in time. So it just depends on your goals. I find that typically people tend to want to see only the programs that are currently accepting clients. But yeah, you have that option. So we'll select the first one for our illustration here. But yeah, you have the option is the point that I want to make. Yeah, so it depends on their intake period, Miranda. So what we see here is we've gone from 1,605 programs on Business Benefits Finder down to 544. So this is just showing you how the story can help to really tailor things for you. So we'll hit results, and I'll show you the results page just very quickly. So a couple things off the top that I want to point out. One of the recent things that we've incorporated is the ability to edit your story filters. So say that you went through the story, really quickly, and you're just kind of picking, different options, and then you get to the results, and you're like, oh, there's a couple that I wish I included. Well, you have the ability to modify them here. So, for example, say that we clicked on all support, and then you say, oh, that's casting things a little bit too wide. I want to get more specific supports. So you uncheck that, and say I want grants and funding, loans, tax credits, and so you'll see the running count. It's gone down from 544 to 148, and so that's just showing you that the filter is it's doing its thing. So we'll take these off. I just wanted to do this to illustrate, but we'll go back to all support, just for example. Another thing that I wanted to point out here is that you have the ability to save your story. And so this is really helpful in instances where you want to keep up to date on programs, but you don't necessarily want to fill out the Business Benefits Finder story every single time that you visit the website. And so the way that you do that is you click on the sign in button that's on the right-hand side, and then it'll provide you with this pop-up. And all you do is you input your email address. There's no creating a profile or anything. It's just going to send a link to your story on the a link to your story on the Business Benefits Finder directly to your inbox. And from your inbox, you can retrieve that link, and it'll bring you right back to where you left off. So it's just a way to pick up things and not have to redo this every single time. The other thing that you can do is say that you're working on behalf of a client, or a friend or somebody. What you can do is you can share the story. So say that you did one scenario for yourself and one for your client. You can send that version of the story to them so that they can access it on their end, and they don't have to go through it. So just looking at the way that the results page is laid out, we've grouped the results by category. So you'll see here we have grants and funding, loans and capital investments, tax credits, wage subsidies. So all the different supports that we've indicated. And because we indicated all supports, we're going to see one of these tiles for each support. And then within each of these, you'll see the different programs. So you'll have the title and then the organization that is associated with it. And if you click on any one of them, you'll see this expanded format. And so what that provides you with is a little bit more information about the program. So you'll have a short description, and then typically any sort of information that the organization has provided us with. And so this one caveat that I want to put forward is it does tend to vary, and this is just based on the information that we're provided with by the organization, because people have pointed that out. And again, it's not because we had missed information. It's just that that's the information that we're provided with. So as much as we have, we try to put on the Business Benefits Finder. The other thing I want to point out is if you see here on the bottom right, you have this little gold bar. And what that is it'll bring you directly to the program website. So off the Business Benefits Finder to the program website, where you can find more information about the program, and you can also apply to it. Another thing I want to point out while we're here is you'll see these stars here on the top right of the tiles. And so once you're signed in, which is that function that I showed you on the right-hand side right here, you have the ability to go through the favoriting process. So we have 548 results here. So say that we're looking through and we're trying to pathfind and we're trying to navigate a little bit, and we're coming up with all these different options. It's just a way for us to shortlist so that we don't have to go back through all 500 some results. We can check our favorites and we can keep up to date with those. And I believe that's it for the Business Benefits Finder. So you'll see that each category of support is laid out the same. So you'll have the title, you'll have the number of results, and then you'll have these little tiles for each unique support. Are there any questions that I can answer on the Business Benefits Finder right now, or would we like to move forward?
I'm just going to check the Q&A. Okay, Manjeet. Okay, Manjeet, I know you are looking for complete support for how to begin and where to get started. I'm going to encourage you to pop on to the Business Link website. I'm going to give you that information now. So if you just are on this call and you're not sure where to begin or how to get started, you can head on over to businesslink.ca. On that site is our 1-800 number, and we have actual live strategists who will help you organize and get started and help you sort of define where you need to go. So I'm going to say we've answered that one live. Are the programs and funding available in the United States? I can answer that. In the US, you want to head on over to the Small Business Administration, SBA, Small Business Administration. You can Google that. And all the programs and funding available through organizations across the US are sort of categorized through them. They will actually help you get through the programming and supports there. It's called the Small Business Administration. Manjeet, can you please go to the BusinessLink website, businesslink.ca, and do your research through that? Thank you very much. And I think we can move forward.
Okay, great. So what I'd like to do while I'm still on this window and I have the page loaded up, I just wanted to do a quick run through of our BizPal site. And so as I mentioned, I was initially kind of thinking, I was like, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? But I can do this very quickly. And I think it'll be a great value add. So as I mentioned, when I was doing kind of the overview of the Innovation Canada suite of programs and services, we have another resource under the Innovation Canada umbrella that is BizPal. And so this is our permits and licenses hub, where you can find all the permits and licenses that you may need to operate your business, no matter where you're located in the country. And so I find the Business Benefits Finder to be, quite easy to use and fairly easy to navigate. But this is even more so. So when you land on the on the BizPal, I was blending the two there. When you land on the BizPal homepage, you're presented with two fields to fill out. So you have location and you have industry. So again, I'm going to get some input from the crowd here. So for location, what municipality do we want to put in here? Sorry, what was the link to that? So Shabina, that was the Business Benefits Finder, and that's innovation.canada.ca. Alberta. Okay. Do we want to get a little bit more specific? Because we're looking at municipalities here. So if I just say Alberta, it's going to give me a bunch of different hits.
So when we say municipalities, what we're really talking about is, are you in the municipality of Rocky View if you're in a rural area? Are you in the municipality of Calgary, Airdrie, Okotoks, Sherwood Park? Municipalities are in charge of your local city licenses and your local municipal licenses for things.
Yes. Okay, so just for illustrative purposes, we'll say Calgary because I saw quite a few responses there. And then the second field is industry. So here we just start to type in, what type of business we have, and then the corresponding result is going to show up. So what kind of businesses do we have here? Historic and heritage sites. Let's see. Oh, that's actually one. Yeah, historic and heritage sites. Okay, we can try that as an example. So two fields, that's all you fill in, and then you click on search. And so the way that BizPal is laid out is we have these three columns. So I'm going to go down the middle one, then I'm going to go to the right, and then I'm going to go to the left. So if you look down the middle column, you'll see all the different permits and licenses that you may need to operate your business. So you have the title of the permit or license, you'll have the start of the description, and then you have the source. So federal, provincial, or municipal. As you click through, you'll see the expanded format change. So you'll have, again, the title, you'll have the source, you'll have brief description, prereqs, and then you can click out for more information or to apply online. And then moving over to the left-hand side, this is just a filter. So you can choose to see all the permits and licenses for your business where you're located. Or if you want to get a little bit more specific, you can go through the different categories. So, say that you want a permit or license for starting a business, for selling, exporting, for electrical, plumbing, heating. Again, you can it's just a different way to navigate the platform. And so that's BizPal in a nutshell. I find it to be quite straightforward, but again, I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have either now or later. Just going to look quickly to see if there's anything that flashes across the screen. No? Okay. So I'm just going to go back to my deck really quickly. I don't think I have too much more, but let me just see here. Okay. There. Okay, so BizPal, we went through that together. Okay, and yeah, so that brings me to the end. So again, I just wanted to take the opportunity to provide you with a brief overview of Innovation Canada and all the different programs and services we have available to support Canadian business, but then also do a bit of a deeper dive on our two tools. So mainly the Business Benefits Finder, which is our one-stop shop that has everything government can do for your business, but then also BizPal, which is our permits and licenses hub. And so again, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have either now or later. So feel free to pitch those. Are we seeing any questions come up, Linda?
Let's take a look.
So one thing that I do want to bring forward, as I'm seeing kind of like very specific questions coming up, just flashing across my screen. What I often recommend is if people have very unique or niche kind of needs for their business, I highly encourage you to do a little bit of perusing on the Business Benefits Finder and BizPal platforms, because then you can actually put your specific inputs into the resource, and then it'll provide you with the supports that correspond to your unique situation. Because it's a little bit difficult for me to respond to your unique situation if I'm not in your shoes. I can speak broadly to the programs or to the supports that are available on our platforms. But again, when it comes to specific situations, it often is easier for the business owner or the entrepreneur to go through the process quickly themselves, just to do a little bit of pathfinding. And I think what might be quite helpful is oh.
I see I'm on mute, which is why I'm wondering. Okay,
Oh.
so here we go. Here are some of the struggles that I see people in our Q&A having. So one of the struggles is maybe you have your idea for your business and you haven't quite put down on paper, even a one-page business plan. Then the next step is, where do I even begin? And what are the processes in my business and that sort of thing? So you're not going to be able to really utilize the resources of the Government of Canada or organizations like the BDC or access the funding without having some concept of a business plan together. So a lot of these programs, for example, programs offered to women entrepreneurs through the Alberta Women Entrepreneurs, or programs offered through Futurepreneur Canada. So you'll see the programs here on your benefits finder, but they're all going to want you to have your ideas sorted out. They're probably going to want you to have some structure to a business plan, and they're going to want you to have at least 1 to 2 years of cash flow worked out for your small business. That's work. So, in order for you to get to that point and get yourself prepared for the funding and the grants and the options, the first thing you're going to have to do is sort out your idea into some form of a business plan. And one of the things that you're sitting here with Business Link for and why we're presenting webinars to you is because Business Link is one of several organizations across Canada within provinces across Canada. So if you're in Ontario, you have the Ontario Small Business Group there that does programming, Small Business BC and British Columbia. Every province has an organization like Business Link. Saskatchewan Small Business, Ontario Small Business. So consider us your 911 for small business. You phone into us and we can dispatch out to you the relevant information that you need to get started. First place you want to go is to people like us, and we'll say to you, okay, well, tell us what you want to do, tell us your idea, talk to us about what you need to get as resources. And our job is to compile the resources together for you and help you sort out where you need to begin first. So if you're on this webinar today and you're looking for money for your small business, the first thing you want to do is figure out how to build a simple one-page business plan. If you go to bplans.com and download their lean business plan template, you can write in 20 minutes time a simple one-page business plan to sort out your ideas and to sort out what you need to be thinking about, because business is a set of processes that work together to generate revenue for you. So we want you to get into that mindset first. Once you've got that written out, you can pop on into Business Link. You can watch our resource videos on how to register a business, what the 5 C's of credit are for business, how to put things together. You can sign up for a newsletter, and we are always presenting a webinar called, and it's interactive. It's called Bring Your Business Idea to Life, where we teach you how to think about business and make that one-page business plan interactively for 90 minutes. And then we also have programming that helps you take that forward into a more comprehensive plan and build it out so that by the time you move from idea to getting ready to start, you've got your whole business concept written out and you can access the funding and programming that's available to you. But the funding and the programming doesn't become available to you until you've got that plan in place. So you have to start with that. You can definitely sign up for the Business Link newsletter, go down to the bottom of the page on page 1 and explore the resources, explore the short videos, explore those things, and call the 1-800 number, and our strategist will actually guide you through where to begin. So for those of you looking for the one-page business plan, you can go to bplans.com. I've put it in the chat, and you can download what they call their lean business plan template. Okay, that at least gets you to blurt out your ideas on paper. You don't need to be perfect there. Just take 20 minutes to blurt it all down in the categories and think about business there, because that's going to help you then when you call places like Business Link. That's going to help us help you sort out what you need to get and where we need to send you for resources. And it's also going to help you sort out then how you can best access the business benefits finder to get the resources you need. Because a lot of what the business benefits finder does for you is says, we have a match for you and your type of business and the type of entrepreneur you have. Here's the 15 programs that are available for that. But then you have to reach out independently to those programs and to those organizations and find out from those organizations what the requirements are to qualify for their programming. And in order to qualify for those programs, you'll need to have some sort of business plan. Guaranteed. You're going to need to be able to talk about your business as in, this is who I am, this is my expected revenues, this is what I think my pricing structures are going to be, so on and so forth. That's when you're going to have doors open to you for your business funding. Okay, there we go. I see some of you are sharing each other's contacts. That's great. Micro Business has a course for a 25-page business plan. Business Link has a complete, fully interactive online business planner where you can just pop in, set up your username and password, and it has help videos, sample Q&As, everything you need to know there. And then we have our one-page 90-minute session on how to think about starting a business. That's good. Uh, Grants and programming. I wanted to talk to you, Dimitri, a bit about intellectual property. Do you just want to share with people what that is so that they understand when you have intellectual property programs, but what you mean by intellectual property? I think that can be a barrier.
Sure. Again, I can't speak to it in depth, and I can't speak to those programs in depth. I can speak to them broadly. But intellectual property, to me, what that means is it's anything tied to, kind of the nuts and bolts of the innovation. So, the thought processes, the planning. That's kind of what it means to me. Linda, did you want to maybe bolster that a little bit if you have some input?
Yes, so everybody, intellectual property is things like patents, trademarks, and copyrights. If you look at the Coca-Cola logo, for example, Coca-Cola will have registered their logo as a trademark. You'll see a little R in a circle under the logo Coca-Cola. That means it's a registered trademark. Every country has regulations about intellectual property. So you can register in your own country, you can register in multiple countries, you can register globally your trademarks. Your trademarks, patents, and copyrights are business assets. They're an asset class in your business. And if you want to look at how those things operate and work, they're managed in Canada through the Canadian Intellectual Property Office. It's called CIPO. You can Google it, and they run courses. You can search their databases of trademarks and copyrights and all kinds of good stuff and learn a lot about trademarks, patents, and copyrights. So, trademarks are logos and branding, copyrights are content and written and sound and all that kind of stuff. And patents are industrial processes and processes contained within your cell phones and within your computers that are patented processes protected by companies for that. Uh, that's what intellectual property is. So if you're developing something new and it's very innovative, you may or may not want to protect it with a patent. If you're developing a new microchip that's going to, revolutionize AI, that would be a patent that you would file as a patent. If you are writing songs and materials and you want to protect those things, you can protect those in a variety of ways through copyright law. It's very complex law. Art. Oh, check out copyright law for art. Okay. What else do we have? I think we have. You want to register a not-for-profit. Not-for-profits. Okay, that's business registration. We also have a course on business registration, so we'll leave that to business registration. But if you're in Alberta, that is not a privatized service in Alberta. That's a direct-to-government service. I highly recommend you can either register as a society or a not-for-profit corporation. And I highly recommend you use a small law firm who specializes in that to do it, because if you want to qualify for things like CRA are a charitable status and that sort of thing with your not-for-profit, then you will need to set up your bylaws and your association bylaws a certain way, and you need to keep track of your financials quite well because you need to provide audited financials for not-for-profits. So definitely you want to do that. Not-for-profits, if you go to the Government of Alberta website and you go to Service Alberta, you can find out information about not-for-profits there. Subsidies for apprenticeships for hairstylists and barbers. Can't narrow to this industry as well. Anything to offer there, Dimitri? Subsidies,
So if
apprenticeship.
you Sure. So again, we try to add as many categories as we can, to make it comprehensive. But if you don't see your particular category, then I would choose the closest one. Or if you find that that's not hitting the mark, I would go broad and I would select all supports, and then I would see what's available there, and I would kind of go through that list. It's not perfect, but we try to make it as comprehensive as possible.
For those of you who are struggling to find information about your industry and that sort of thing, you can reach out to, you can do a couple of things also through Business Link. You can learn about how to find your NAICS code so that you understand your industry better, your North American code standard for your particular industry. We can help you with market research, which is how to research your industry, your competition, and your target market. You can, again, go to the Business Link website and check out the resources under market research. So if you're in barbering and hairstyling, you'll have a NAICS code for your particular industry that you're in, and it'll help locate resources a lot better as well for you. But again, I have to remind people who are starting a business, the world is not full of grants for you when you're starting a business. So look less for grants and look more for programming. Grants will really apply to you if you're in particular types of businesses that are sort of designated through the Government of Canada as, organizations that are enhancing culture, organizations that are enhancing community growth, that sort of thing. You might find grants for particular aspects of your business, but just as a startup feature for your business, that's probably not likely. When you're starting a business, you are starting a for-profit venture. So the understanding is that we can help you maybe potentially hire and train staff in certain industries, maybe not in yours, but in certain industries where there's been a designated shortage of workers is often where you'll find that. But overall, startup is about getting loans and becoming involved in programs that have lending aspects to them as well. So you want to be careful there that you're not going to think that people are just going to provide grants. Subsidies for apprenticeships, you may want to speak out to Cheyenne. You may want to reach out to our strategists at Business Link, and they'll be able to talk to you about subsidies and what's going on in the industry as well. Whew, okay, we've covered a lot. Dimitri, thank you for your patience. Really, the goal today is to get you to explore the Innovation Canada site and to explore the Business Benefits Finder. You've been left the link in chat. Explore, try a few different iterations of what you want to explore there. Oh, I'm a woman-owned business. Oh, I'm an Indigenous-owned business. Oh, I'm looking for this amount, that amount, narrow down the field. Try a few different layers to it. Experiment a bit.
I'm just going to make sure that those two links are at the bottom of the chat there. Okay, well, great. I want to take the opportunity again to thank everybody who participated in the webinar, and also to Linda for extending an invitation. It was a sincere pleasure to be here with you all.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time today, and thanks for walking us through that business benefits finder. This presentation is recorded, everyone. It'll get posted in the next few days to our YouTube channel. So please, please, please check it out if you didn't, if you need to just review it again, it'll be on our YouTube channel as well.